All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast. And for the final part of the show, we are going to talk about the Padres and their money troubles that they are dealing with. So it was reported that they took out a $50 million loan in September to cover short-term expenses, including player payroll. Now, originally, they were they went to MLB, and the loan was approved by Major League Baseball. They originally wanted $100 million for a loan, but they could only get it to $50 million. So yeah, that was to cover payroll. And the Padres, to start the season, they had a payroll of $248.9 million. Which is a franchise record. They were one of the top teams in terms of payroll in baseball to go along with the Mets and the Yankees. And what happened with those three teams? Those three teams did not make the playoffs. Which was a huge disappointment. Now, the Padres are planning to reduce their payroll to around $200 million. Now, again, this is another article online. Again, CBS. They're planning to reduce their payroll to around $200 million for next season to comply with MLB regulations on debt service ratio. So, they have already committed to $217.8 million for the 2024 season. Now, what's interesting is it's going to be challenging. But also, what's interesting is that begs the question, does that mean, is Juan Soto going to get traded? Now, I did post a short about it. The Yankees inquired about Soto. They talked to the Padres. So there's some discussions that could possibly be had. Now, I don't want to sit here and get excited because I know I'll probably be disappointed. But this is insane because the Padres, they've spent a lot of money. Signing Tatis to that big contract, Bogarts to the huge contract that he signed. You know, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. They're going to have to let some of these guys go. And, Juan Soto, listen, you're going to have to pay him if you want to keep him, but they might not be. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to afford to keep him. So they might look to trade him and trade him to a team that has the assets, to get him. And the Yankees are one of those teams. There's a package that the Yankees could definitely put together to get him. Now, for me, obviously, I don't want to give up Dominguez. I don't want to give up. Well, Volpe is definitely not going anywhere. But Dominguez might be the guy that the Yankees are going to have to move. And I don't want that to happen, but to get a guy like Juan Soto who would change, this team, because the Yankees need, they need something. Because right now, what they have is not good. And is not enough. So getting Juan Soto would definitely change, how myself as other Yankee and a lot of Yankee fans would view the team going into next year. Because right now, if the Yankees run it back with the same team, they're not going to do anything. But, with the Padres, I mean, they tried to go for it, essentially. And they only won 82 games. I mean, towards the end of the season, like I was talking about, hey, if they, win all these games, they could possibly sneak into the playoffs. It's possible. But, that ended up not being the case. I mean, they missed the playoffs. I mean, they were under 500 for most of the year. The clubhouse, there was stuff going on with that. Yeah, they just, it was a disappointment. And now this coming out that they had to take out a loan to pay, the salary of these players. I mean, they can't afford what they're doing. So they're going to have to let some guys go. They're going to have to trade some people, possibly. it's not good. It's not good. I mean, they took a big step back because they went to the championship series, last year. And this year they didn't even make the playoffs. And this is signing Bogarts and Tatis coming back from the suspension. You thought this team was going to be a team to be reckoned with. And that was not the case. A huge disappointment. And now, with the news that's come out with them taking out a loan, I mean, yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem. And, it said in the article, they're trying to reduce payroll, but, I mean, what does that mean for Juan Soto? I mean, you're not going to be able to afford him. So you're going to have to let either you ride out the final year of his contract and you let him go in free agency, or you trade him during the year, or, team comes to them and says, we'll give you all this for Soto, and they take it. So it's really interesting, with that, because I mean, I don't know how they weren't able to put it together, but there was definitely a lot going on that we don't know about, and they're going to be looking for a new manager because Bob Melvin left to go manage the Giants, which, I mean, I thought he was going back to the Padres, but I guess not. So that also shows you another thing too. Like he probably had enough of it, of what was going on. So I don't know. It's an interesting situation with the Padres, and I mean, you saw a team that won 84 games. The Diamondbacks. Think about it. Diamondbacks only won 2 more games than the Padres did this year. And they made it all the way to the World Series. They swept the Dodgers. How do you think that makes the Padres feel? I mean, the Padres did knock the Dodgers out of the playoffs last year. But like, how does that make the Padres feel that, like, they underachieved and you're watching a team that won 2 more games than you? You won 82, they won 84. They made it all the way to the World Series. So, and now you got your old manager managing a division rival in the Giants. So, I don't know. There's some question marks there on what they're going to do. I mean, for me, like I said, I think you at least give it 1 more year. You run it back, and, if you don't do well, then you tear it down. But they might not be able to run it back with a lot of these guys because they can't afford it. They're losing money, or they just don't have enough money. To cover a lot of these. I mean, you give Bogarts, what was it, an 11-year contract? Tatis signed like a 14-year contract. I mean, yeah, I mean, definitely gonna have to shave some payroll. So I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, Juan Soto is going to be a topic that is going to be discussed a ton in the offseason, because the Padres could decide, yeah, we're going to move him. And a team's going to, I mean, who wouldn't want Juan Soto, really? I mean, the Padres might have to get rid of him. So, like, yeah, I mean, they're going to have to, they're not going to want to trade him, but they're going to have to. Because, I mean, they could get a ton back for him. And, listen, for me, I'm hoping it's the Yankees that get him. But, again, I'm not very confident in the team right now. Now, Aaron Judge is having conversations with the front office, so you would hope that, like, he's saying, if you can get him, go get him. Because he would be a perfect fit for the Yankees. He would. He would be a perfect fit. If you got him there, we need left-handed bats. That's what we need. That short porch in right field. He is a perfect fit for that. It's a no-brainer. Now, you're going to have to give up a lot to get him. But you have the assets to go and get him. So go get him. And look, the Padres, again, like you're trying to shave off payroll. Well, this is a great way to do that. I just still think it's crazy how the top three teams, when it comes to payroll, right? Yankees, Mets, Padres. All three of them missed the playoffs. All three. And now the Padres are looking to, shave off payroll. So, I mean, we'll see. But Padres are going to be, one of the teams to, keep an eye on during the offseason. So, but yeah, I mean, now we are in the offseason. I kept talking about it, leading up to it. Like, hey, playoffs are coming up, and then that's going to go fast, and then we're going to be in the offseason. It's going to be like, what are we going to talk about? But we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. Obviously, the World Series, was Game 6 and 7 could have been, tonight and tomorrow. But Rangers wrapped it up in 5 games, and that was the end of it. So and basically got to talk about the whole World Series, and we had a champ to talk about, so that was good. But I thought this was the Padres stuff. I thought was a big story because it's like you got a bunch of star players, and you don't have the money to maybe afford paying their salaries. I mean, you're gonna have to do something. And it's gonna be a topic that's gonna be discussed all throughout the offseason. We'll see how it all pans out. Like, they're gonna let guys go. I mean, they're gonna have to trade maybe some people. It's gonna be like I said, it's definitely gonna be something to keep your eyes on in the offseason. And obviously, we'll have the offseason covered with trade rumors, extensions. Because now, like, here we are. Free agency. That's all gonna be coming up. So we'll definitely, of course, talk about it. And it's going to be exciting. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for the show today. Another doubleheader down, of course. It was a great 2 hours. Of course, had the little half-hour gap in between. So really, like, what I did was once I was done with like the football podcast, I just changed up all the the graphics, the scenes, because it's all like on one like page, but I just scroll back up to the baseball and change the segment titles, of course. So it was a quick and easy thing, and especially like having the half hour, to have that all set up definitely helps. But yeah, another doubleheader down. So baseball season's over. Don't worry, we'll still have content coming out. Watch out for the shorts that I'll have coming out later in the day. Not later in the day, but throughout the day. Keep an eye on those. Catch up on the shows that you missed. I'm working on getting yesterday's football show reposted to 4 parts, so look out for that. I'll be getting that out within the coming hours. So make sure to keep an eye on that. Like I said, shorts will be coming out throughout the day. And that's it. So I thank you guys for tuning in once again. We'll be back again on Monday for the football podcast, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And then, of course, for the baseball podcast, that is every Friday now at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So, until then, I'm Kenneth Gruenfelder once again, signing off from the GSMC Baseball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day. Enjoy the weekend. And for the football podcast, I will see you guys on Monday. Take care, and I will see you then.